And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Halloween is right around the corner, so we're talking today about a zombie game, If I'm Going Down. And essentially, the thematic point of this game is zombies are attacking and you're going to die. So if I'm going to go down, I'm going to take as many zombies with me. And the goal of this game is, yes, you're not going to survive this, but see how many zombies you can take down and try to get different numbers so that you can win. Depressing, probably, but let's take a look at it. I'm not going to go over everything in the game, but I'm going to give you some of the highlights here. First of all, each person's going to pick a special character, and it gives you their backstory and special abilities that they might have. Apparently Steven Seagal showed up. And it also, if you flip the card over, shows what happens when you're turned into a zombie. You're less fun to be around at that point in time. So you pick one of these characters, and this is a 1 or 2 player game. You can play with 3 or 4, but you don't have enough stuff really to play that much with. You're going to pick a scenario. Let's say you pick the intersection scenario here. This shows you how the game is set up. For each of these green spots, that's where the zombies are going to come from. You start in the blue when they march towards you. You can see when there's 2 players that there's a bit of more of a wider area. And so what you'll do is you're going to set cards up kind of in a pattern. This is not perfectly symmetrical, but here are the zombie cards as they come out. Now, basically, you are going to be fighting these zombies off until you succumb. That's the regular scenario. However, the game does come with a scenario stories booklet, and in that one, you kind of have different things that might happen. It's not as complicated as you might think. It basically just adds a story to your game. There's maybe like one thing you need to do, and there's actually a story card included with the game. You have these 3 cards right here: the ground, your hands, and the body. And this is a way that you can carry things. In the game, there is a fate deck, and from this fate deck, you will be drawing cards. So let's say you get this assault rifle. This assault rifle here has 3 shots. It's only one-handed, so I can stick it right here and show that I have it in one of my hands, and I put it at that spot to know that I have 3 shots left. While if I was using this rifle instead, you can see this one's the long ways, and it has 5 shots, but it takes both hands to hold this. And I might have a machete that has unlimited, and I'm carrying that on my body. And sometimes there will be things on the ground that you will fight and go for. All these cards come from the Fate deck, and you might get some of them at the beginning of the game. Now, on your turn, you are going to have a chance, as you stand here in the middle, as zombies prepare to invade you in this intersection game anyway. You can also play one that's called the Shack, which is one where the zombies are all coming at you basically from one direction, or there's a 3 to 4 player intersection and such. But anyhow, as you stand there, you can search for more items, or you can start fighting the zombies that are going to be flipped off of every pile and are going to start walking towards you. Now here they're only 1 away because I didn't want to spread this out all over the table. But these zombies can be quite horrific as they come at you. Here's a standard male zombie, not very hard to kill. You can see it only takes 1 point of damage to kill him. Well, here's Maddie, and it takes 3 points of damage to do her, and she also has the fact that she's short, so you can't shoot her if she's behind someone who's taller than her, etc. There's Lumpy. There's lots of these different people that are in the game, and you can see that some of them are pretty gross and disgusting. Some of them, like Archer here, has a little heart here, and you can see that he's someone that you love, and you wouldn't be the one to kill him. Another player has to be the one to take him out. While then on this other hand, there's people like this who you hate. Frank, he's someone you despise in real life, and so you have to attack him if possible. Sometimes when you flip the card over, it's a face. That means the guy's right there. That's kind of simulating a horror movie where suddenly out of nowhere there's that one zombie. And you can see how lovely the artwork is while we're at this. And sometimes when there's a card turned over, it's occurrence. And this could be several different events that happen, and what you'll do is you'll turn over the top card of the Fate deck and see what symbol is there. Now, when you attack zombies, you will be drawing cards from the Fate deck. And most of the time, the cards that you draw, well, not most of the time, but a lot of times you draw them, will simply say, no luck. And then your Fate test is passed. Otherwise, you turn them over and it's a pass. Every other symbol except for no luck is a pass. Now, there's all different sorts of equipment that you can use, but when you're using the fate card as a deck that you're going to be utilizing for like shooting a weapon or doing some other kind of check, then that's the only thing you care about are these icons. Now, you will be shooting the zombies, and you'll be doing damage to them and hopefully killing them, but eventually you're going to succumb and die. That's kind of gross. Sorry, guys. Take a look at Frank. And at that point in time, the other players will have to continue on and fight without you. So you might be Sean here, but eventually Sean becomes Steven Seagal, the zombie, and he will fight off everybody. And when you're both dead, then you basically count up how many points worth of zombies you've killed, and if you've killed enough, you win the game. Now, that's a very, very generic way, but I wanted to point out that the game has some really nice reference cards. You can see here that there's all the different zombie icons and the special abilities, exactly how to use a weapon card. I didn't go over that in detail, but basically, weapons have a certain number of uses. You can shoot them off a certain number of times. If you hit, that's how much damage they will do, and maybe special abilities. And then you have what you do on your turn. First, the players move and look for resources or fight. Then the zombies will attack, and then the zombies will move. And that just repeats until you're dead. You will die, but hopefully you'll be able to take out as many zombies as you can. First of all, I want to say, if I'm going down, the card artwork, as you saw when I showed it, can be gory, violent, or even scary for kids. I would not recommend this for kids at all. The box has a 14+ rating on it, and I think that's legitimate because this stuff isn't very friendly or exciting. But you're not really in a zombie game for cutesiness anyway. The second thing I have to say is that I personally am getting really petered out on this whole zombie love genre thing that's going on right now. So you have to take my opinion of this with a bit of a grain of salt because, you know, I monitor, for example, Kickstarter, and I would say an average of 2 zombie games is added to Kickstarter every week. And it's a very depressing genre in and of itself. I usually play games to have fun. Having zombies destroy me isn't necessarily my favorite thing of having fun. Thirdly, this game is a single player or 2-player game. Yes, you can add a 3rd or 4th player, but you really need 2 sets for that to work well. And the 2-player game is essentially a single-player game. You're just kind of on the same board. So, you know, I'm not a huge fan of those either. Okay, so I don't want to be knocking on this, but when I played this and when I put everything out, there's some neat ideas here. The Fate deck is not a bad idea. To turn a card over to see what happens. Mixed with the events, I like that. It lets you have several events on one card. For attacks, it's kind of just totally random. It's like rolling a die. And the game itself feels like a card game version of pretty much every other zombie game out there. Zombie games work like this. You get out there, you fight zombies till you escape. In this case, you die, but at least you saved the dog. Yay. But you're just going out there and mindlessly fighting zombies. And I would like to make more choices on my turn. In this one, your choices are, which zombie do I hit first? Well, likely the most threatening one or the one that you can kill. Or, you know, where will I move around to fight against the zombies? That doesn't really appeal to me because there's just not that many choices involved in that. And so I wasn't really that impressed by that part. The game is also incredibly lucky because the way the zombies come up, and you might get the very best weapons at the beginning of the game, which might enable you to kill off enough zombies to meet your goal in the very first few turns, or the weapons might not show up to the end, the ones that are good, and at that point you could be dead within a few turns. Now, I would recommend that if you're going to play it, to use the scenario booklet that comes with it, the scenario story, as kind of gruesome as some of these scenarios are. The writing isn't terrible. It's well, better than mine, but that doesn't mean anything. But it's fine, and I will say that the rule book here is fantastic. It's really nicely laid out. I very much enjoyed how they did the rule book, and the art is good, gruesome, but good throughout the game. So, I don't know. I'm not feeling this one. I think that there definitely is a fan base for it, as we can see by the fact that zombie games sell like crazy. So people obviously like zombie games. But even if you like zombie games, I didn't know that this one offers a whole ton more, except for maybe the portability and ease of setup. And easily expandability, you know, I want to add more zombies, bam, another deck of zombies. Each characters have their special ability, but I didn't really feel that either. It was one small minor thing. So, I guess I'm coming down hard on this, and I don't mean to. It's a good effort from the game company, and I think it has a target group that's going to like it, and possibly you're in that group. It's just not for me.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.
Shut the door!
That's right. Shut it.
There.